My name is Mazaz. Okay, this evening we are going to be looking at the protests, or rather, sorry, the rally that was planned in Abuja yesterday. But incidentally, the Nigerian police, the Nigerian military, and the Nigerian mobile police went in there, arrested those that have come to organize a peaceful rally where they are demanding all eyes on the judiciary. These individuals were arrested yesterday. This evening, I have the privilege of having these people with me in the studio. I want them to tell us their own story and regarding what happened yesterday. I have the privilege of bringing in Chigozie here. Chigozie, I understand you're currently in Abuja, right?
Yes.
Okay. So yesterday, what actually happened? Can you walk us through regarding the incident that happened yesterday?
Okay.
Go ahead.
So yes. Sorry, can you give me a minute? It's muted. All right. I'm getting feedback.
Yes, you know what? I would have to push out Professor in. So the moment we need the Prof, if you don't mind, you can. Yes, thank you very much. So once you
Okay.
need Professor back, then we'll bring him.
Yeah. So I was hearing
Yes,
myself.
he's the one that was doing the because he's in close proximity with you. Go ahead.
All right. So yesterday we like we all know there was a rally that was supposed to go happen yesterday. All eyes on the judiciary rally for in solidarity to the judiciary, whilst we're all focusing on the judiciary for them to do the right thing. So there was information out there that we all well-meaning Nigerians should come out and show solidarity to the judiciary. So myself and other well-meaning Nigerians and obedient, and we all came out, and the venue was City Gate, opposite the stadium, City Gate. So we got there. On getting to the venue, I was getting information that the venue has been changed, that the policemen that were there, they are chasing people away and telling people that the rally has been cancelled. So any group of people that come to the police people, give them information that the rally has been cancelled. So I got a call about this complaint, and I said no, the rally is not cancelled. So we got there, and the organizer of the program told us that they are currently at Area 1 Bridge. That is where they are gathering, that we should come there and meet them there so that we can discuss. So I went there. On getting to the Area 1 Bridge, I saw other people, other obedience standing there, and other Nigerians who came out. I think a few of us were there. So as we were discussing on what to do, I think there was a van of police that was beside us. So we were harmless people. We just came out, so we didn't have any fear. We even felt okay, the police guys are here, so there's nothing to be scared of. So not knowing that they had other plans for us. So whilst we were there discussing on where to go, because we didn't want to cause or disrupt traffic, so we told the people to go to the stadium. Let's go back to the stadium and stay, since the stadium is closer to City Gates. So whoever that is coming to City Gates can just cross over the road and join us at the stadium. So whilst we were there trying to make that decision, we saw a troop of police, like police, army, DSS, like they came in a convoy, about 20 trucks. They were fully armed with bulletproofs, helmets, headgears. Like I don't know, I thought it was the troop that was sent to Niger Republic. I thought they were going to Niger Republic, because I was like, what is happening here? It just happened like a flash. So they just came and surrounded everybody. What people doing? So we were just there. we didn't want to run, so we said we are not running, we are not carrying any placards, we are just here waiting. So they said, what are we? I told them that we are here waiting for other people, that we have a rally, so we were told to come here, but we are about to leave here. So they started chasing people away. They said, everybody leave here. So they someone brought out their guns, someone brought out what's it called, batting. Oh yeah, leave here, started chasing people away. So while people were running away, trying to, get to just leave that place, I myself, I tried to see if I can get still a video, capture the moment, what's happening. And there's a guy, Muriel, who was an obedient as well. Then we have a lady called Chioma, all there with me, and that was how I think Chioma was holding her phone. Muriel was making a call, like trying to pass information to, I don't know who he was talking to on the phone. So, but we didn't want to, we wanted to make sure that everybody that was there left peacefully, safely. We didn't want anybody to get hurt. So we just tried to stay back so that people will leave before we now disperse. So in that process, they called back the three of us. They said, hey, you come back. Who are you? Why are you making call? What are you doing with that phone? Bring that phone. That was what that was how they drew us back, and they took our phones and kept us there. So whilst we were there, I told them, we are not videoing you. If you look at the video, it's myself, and I'm just videoing the environment. I'm not focusing the video on any of you or taking, because they are saying we are videoing. I said, I'm not videoing you. I have the right to make a video on my phone. So that was how we were there, and they said we should enter the police van. And I said, okay. I told the other ladies and the guy, I said, please, let's not argue with them. Let's be civil. If they say we should go into the van, no problem. Let's go into the van. So that was how we got to the police van. They said they were taking us to the Area 1 headquarters or something, that we are going to go there and make statements, what we are doing here, and the phones, that we'll open the phone and we'll see what is inside the phones. So whilst we were there, the DSS told them to hold on. They were about to drive off. And there's a call. I think somebody received a call. One of the DSS guys got a call and said there's order from above that they should transfer us to them, to the DSS. So that was how they took us out of the police van and transferred us to a Hilux truck that was brought by the DSS there. So I think I had a bouncer that was just, standing, that came with me. So the bouncer didn't leave, so they called him and said, you join them. And that was how they took I think the bouncer was sitting at the back of the truck. Myself, the lady, and the other guy, Muriel, three of us were first inside the back of the Hilux with one DSS.
So sorry, officer. if I understand that perfectly, the bodyguard you guys had was also arrested with you guys.
Yes. So that was how they drove us away, and I didn't know where we were going. So, and for me, I told everybody, I just whispered to everybody.
Around what time was this thing happening? I understand that
this was happening around
the rally was slated for about 2 o'clock. So around what time was
around 2:30 to 3 p.m.
Okay.
Around 2:30 or around 2:30, because we came out earlier. So all this, so this was happening around 2:30. So what we saw, we landed at DSS headquarters in Asokoro. I think they called the place Yellow House, popularly known as Yellow House also. So that's where we landed, and told us to get down from the Hilux, go inside the place, sit on the floor, bring your phone, search them. We were treated like criminals. Armless, we're not. And after searching us, they took our phones, took our watches. In fact, one of the DSS guys came in there and said that this matter go long, so they should take all our shoes out, should even pull everything on us. And so whilst we were there, I just told the other guys that please let us be civil with these guys, so that we are going to leave here today, because I don't want I don't want us to probably start fighting for our rights or start speaking up against whatever action that is being meted on us. And that's my now I was stay there. My daughter's birthday was that yesterday, and I was supposed to be cutting a cake with her 1 year birthday. And I don't want to a situation where I will not be able to go home to celebrate her birthday. So I just wanted to live there. So that was how we just surrendered and let them do what they want to do. They took us, they told us we must delete everything on our phones.
The
But
videos,
so
the
the
videos you
videos,
guys made.
yeah, the videos we made, the pictures that we've taken even before they arrived, whatever, anything that was related to that rally, they asked us to delete everything and take it off. So we just did that obediently so that to avoid any complication. And after doing that, they keep us there. We have to wait their boss comes around. While we were waiting, they started interrogation, taking us one after the other to question and get a statement of what happened. We should write a statement. So me personally, I gave my statement of why I was there. The other lady went, the other guy and the bouncer, and I think everything was a
Did
horrible
did
situation.
did any of you lose any of your properties?
Any of our properties?
Yes.
No, no. We got all our properties complete, but
So
we were
around, sorry, go ahead.
you said around what? I
Around
didn't
what
get you.
time were you guys released
We were released
from the?
around 8 p.m. in the night. That was when
So did
we
okay? Did any lawyer come along?
no lawyer came along, but then we had well-meaning Nigerians, we had obedience who were trending on social media, tagging the DSS, tagging the police, making out statements. Some people were on YouTube doing the videos, some people were on Twitter spaces, people were making calls. So I feel like a lot of Nigerians who were angry about what happened were just lending their voices. So we were in there. We don't know who and who have made efforts. We don't know who and who have made calls. But what I did was I made sure that every one of us there were civil and we didn't have any issue with them. We just cooperated with them so that we can just live there. So I think the combined efforts of everybody, I can't really say. A lot of people did a lot of things. And so, but the grateful thing was that we were able to live there that night. And we got to our homes safely.
Okay. Watching this video now, that was the place that was planned, right? The venue of the rally.
Yes.
So, what do you have to say about this video that is playing now?
They
All
kill
right.
that
So,
guy.
Which key?
Now, hold
They
on.
beat them.
You see, someone is asking at the background whether they killed the guy. Now, and we eventually saw a video of someone who was shot, or who was taken to the hospital on a stretcher. Who was that individual? What happened to him?
okay, the person on that video and picture is Mr. Bulus Yewale.
Okay.
He's from he's a Bauchi State. From Bauchi State, he lives in Lugbe in Abuja. So he also came out just like every one of us, every woman in Nigeria, every obedient that came out to join the rally. So whilst you were there, I think there's a journalist, there's a lady who was a journalist that was taking a video of what was happening because they came there. I think they left that location. They came there to harass the people there as well. So the lady was the journalist was trying to take a video with her phone. And so I think the officers said they should take the phone from her. Who is that lady? Why are you making a video? Bring that phone. So she threw the phone to the guy, the Bulus, and Bulus transferred the phone, threw it to someone else, another guy in the crowd there, and the guy disappeared with the phone, and he was able to escape with the phone. So I think there was this transfer of aggression on Bulus because I think they couldn't really. They tried to rough handle or manhandle the lady. They pulled her hair, but then all the aggression was transferred to Bulus because he was the guy, and he was beaten by the police, army, DSS. these guys came, like it was a joint kind of attack. So whilst they were beating him, there's a Professor Ndubuaku Theophilus that was there trying to rescue him. And, you know, he's an elderly man and a well-respected professor who is known. So he was telling them, why are you beating this guy? Can't you leave him alone? And all that. He was the only one that stood there to, you know, to counter and fight for Bulus. But then they were telling him to go away from there, and, you know, trying to push him away. And he said, he was telling them, try it and touch me. Do you know who I am? So while they were having that argument, I think they collected his phone, professor's phone. They took the phone from him. And if you watch that video to the end, you will see when the person that was capturing the video was saying, they don't take that old man phone. They don't take that old man phone.
I know.
So
if I know capture, I'm then.
They were talking about. So
And
till date, till now, at this moment, Professor has not gotten back that phone. And he was the one that rushed Bulus to the hospital. So because there was rumors that he's dead, that he was shot, because he was actually looking lifeless. So, but Professor came in and some other people around him and made sure that they rescued him, took him to the hospital. And that was the videos you saw and the pictures with him on the stretcher when they got to the hospital at night. So Professor is here with me. He's currently sitting here. So Professor probably can give his own part of the story and say what he encountered with them.
Okay, let's play the video and use the opportunity for you to bring the professor in. Okay.
All right.
So that is the narration of Chigozie now as regards to what happened yesterday in Abuja. Now, this is the video in question. Let's listen to that video.
Now, waste now.
What did you guys do?
Nothing.
And what happened to this woman?
Now, she was also videoing.
So they collect her phone.
They scatter themselves.
They arrest that old man. DSS.
And DSS have been a police.
Both DSS.
All of them, army. See army. See
army now. You know they see them.
So waiting be the real thing where the guy do.
Now, Prof, you're welcome to Njenje Media.
Thank you very much, my brother. How are you?
I'm all right, sir. Now, watching that video, according to what Chigozie was saying, they were saying they were arresting that old man. So what was your crime? How did you come into the mix of everything that happened with the police yesterday?
Well, I heard around the time about 4 o'clock or so, I got information that Chigozie had been arrested. So, and I knew the venue. So I rushed to the venue, which was the city gate. And when I got to the city gate, I saw a policeman, and then we didn't see anybody. I couldn't see Chigozie, and then we didn't have any information. But there were some people who were assembling on that place. So while they were assembling around the city gate, the policemen approached. That was the first approach of policemen to the group. And then there was a kind of altercation. So I now said, okay, what is the problem? As you know, and we interacted with the police, you know, and I told the team that the group, you know, the obedience that were there. I said, okay. The policemen said that the venue had been changed to Area 1. So I said, okay, you will contact Area 1, the team, the group in Area 1, so that we'll know where Chigozie is and who has been arrested, because information was filtering that it was not only Chigozie, there were other people who were arrested. So the policemen now insisted that they should move. So they now moved towards, if you know where they call Magic Land, which is very close to that city gate. The Magic Land is a recreational center, amusement park. So about 20 of them assembled there. And while we were talking, I was trying to ask questions to find out where we could find Chigozie, where did they take him to. We now saw this convoy of policemen, army, road safety, DSS, and then civil defense. It was about 20 vehicles. And when they came down, there were I mean, I could estimate about 100 people. I was surprised. So as they came down, and then they started moving towards these 20 people who assembled in front of the magic band. Then this lady who is, I think she's a journalist, a radio journalist, I think her name is Happiness, was now videoing them. They now rushed. And then among the people were old, there was an old woman, a few old women, and then some young people, women, men, and all that, young people. So most of them started running. Well, what now happened was that they now went after the girl. She was not running, she was still videoing them. So when they approached, they asked her, why are you videoing? So I now told them, I said, she's a journalist. They said, carry her. I said, don't touch her. She's a journalist. She's doing her job. I think I flashed her ID card. Then they insisted and dropped her. When they rushed, then the girl threw her phone because she knew they wanted to grab the phone. So she threw her phone. And Bulus, the person who was eventually identified as Bulus, now got the phone. They now rushed towards Bulus. Bulus now threw it to somebody who was very close to the gate of the amusement park. And the person caught it and disappeared. So they carried Bulus. So when they started hitting him, beating him with their baton, the gun, the boot. It was just, I couldn't really stand that. So I now said, why do you want to kill him? They said if they kill him, they will go and bury him. At that point, Bulus slumped. When he slumped, I now had to step, towards them. I said, why are you doing this? Then I said, oh, we'll kill you too. I said, no, you kill me. Look at my age. If you kill me, what have you achieved? I said, I've actually achieved everything I want to achieve. So if you want to go and kill me, go ahead. So I said, we will arrest you. I said, no. Then they said, oh, they now, one of them, picked my phone. I had to hold him, and he was dragging the phone. So when I started dragging the phone, one came and said, you should leave me. I wanted to raise the button. I said, I have to now pick my car. I said, look at who I am. You don't ever touch me. So I think one of them saw it. So, and some people said, oh, that man is a professor. So they now left me, carried the phone, and walked away. Then meanwhile, they had carried that girl, then Bulus was lying prostrate on the ground and lifeless. So I was also worried. So when they were carrying him away, I said, where are you taking him to? They said, why not leave him since he's lifeless? They said, no, they will not leave him. If he's dead, we'll go and bury him. So at that point, they had taken Bulus, they had taken the girl, they drove off, and then another man. So they drove off, and I now got more worried. Here I was trying to locate her. She was here, and other people, and now I have 3 more people, So we now started, making calls and all that. And eventually, there was a woman there who came from Lube with Bulus, who now gave us his number. Then we also got another woman who knew the journalist, who also gave us. So about 7 o'clock, that lady called and said they had dumped them at Federal Secretariat. And the distance from this thing is some distance from the Federal Secretariat to the city gate. So now I had to drive to Federal Secretariat, and then that's why we saw Bulus stay lying where they dumped him, and then we now carried him. First of all, we went to Gariki Hospital.
Hold on, sorry.
Okay, we now
sorry,
some lawyers.
sorry. Let me get this right. You said they dumped Bulus. They dumped him. Oh, I don't know what happened there. I think probably there was an incoming. Okay, we can hear you now. Go ahead.
Yes, so that was where they left him, and then the lady called us. So we now went to the
At that point where they dumped Bulus, was he Was he
Yes, I think what
conscious?
suspected, because by the time they took him, the impression what we had was that he was dead because of the way they beat him and the way he was lying there lifeless, and they had to drag him.
So
do
you think they left him thinking that he was already dead?
No, I think he regained consciousness before they dumped him. Okay. Because the lady told us that by the time we met him, he was very weak, bloodshot eyes, and then bruises on his face, and his clothes torn. So we now had to carry him. And then I called some lawyers, said, what do we do? This is the situation. And, I never met Bulus. I had never met any of those people, So now we took him straight to Gariki. When we got to Gariki, the lady told us that if this thing was going to make a report to the police, that is a private hospital, I should take him to National Hospital. So we now took him to National Hospital. And luckily, by the time we got there, we told us go to the trauma center of the National Hospital. We got there, and the doctors, swung into action immediately. They put neck collar on him, and then I had to arrange for people to stay with him, and then we started calling his people. So that night they had to do X-ray, and then today we went back there, and they said that they were suspecting he had head injury because his eyes were bloody and all that, so that he was going to do CT scan. I think they have done the CT scan, and then he's still lying there at the hospital, very weak, and he says that he has a blood vision. When I saw him in the afternoon today. So that was, so they now took my phone, and then they left. Eventually, in the night, we called the phone, and the phone rang. And then somebody said, we should give him another number that he used to call us. We gave him the number. He called us, and then we identified that, I think we found out that he was a policeman. But when we started calling him again, he didn't pick. So today I had to go to First PRO, and then they called the man. They had some issues, and then they now told me that it's like the phone is with DSS. So I had to call people in DSS, and then they called me again later and said they've traced the phone to the FCT police command, and then so tomorrow, because I had to go back to see Bulus, so I said, okay, tomorrow I'll go and keep, moving around to check to see whether I could still retrieve the phone from them.
So without missing word. So without missing word, one who said that the police, referred that they stole your phone.
I can't hear you clearly.
Yeah, I said without missing word, one who said that the police stole your phone. And this is Bulus here. On the screen is Bulus.
Yes. Okay, yes, okay. This is
at the hospital.
Yes. That's
okay.
Bulus.
That's
yes, and I think these people are very ferocious. I don't understand, because I was asking them, why do you need to use this force? What is the problem? Is it that people should not assemble, or is it that these people are causing any? And there were very few. How do you unleash hundreds of over 100 policemen or armed men on if they had wanted? I mean, they had tear gas. They could have just fired tear gas on the crowd. Why were you going to pick them and all that? And also there was something also we had that they were looking for some people. Some people had it's like they had been marked out for arrest or whatever, So this
what sort of people are they looking for?
I think they have the description of the people there, because they were saying that there was a particular woman who was in that environment that was wearing black shirt and was carrying a bag across his chest, and then they were asking somebody, where has that woman gone? So
okay. Now, Prof, before I let you go, because I need to speak with Professor Chris Nwokobia now, but before I let you go, you are in Abuja, considering the fact that that Asari Dokubo and his boys can freely protest in the municipality of Abuja. just opposing it to what you witnessed yesterday that happened in Abuja, what do you think is happening in Nigeria right now?
Well, I think that something is really wrong, sincerely speaking, because this is a democracy. Even in the military regime, you don't charge at people, unarmed people. In fact, because I was there in front of that magic land, they were not even making noise. They were just talking among themselves. They were not carrying any placards. There was no marching, no movements. They were just in one place, about 20 people or less than that. And I think something really, I don't know, we need to maybe educate or talk. The government needs to understand that what is going on is something that is
or rather,
not to be encouraged.
Don't you think that they are carrying out instructions that was given to them from the above?
Sure, they said they were instruction. I mean, we had that saying, oh, the instruction. In fact, they were saying, you people, let me even tell you, one of them said, until we kill somebody, I think, I'm sure you would have, because a number of videos would have captured, until you keep somebody, you will not keep quiet. So what does that mean? I mean, it's something is very despicable. That.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Prof.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining me. Let me have Professor Chris Nwokabia now. But before I do, I'll play this video for context here. Prof, thank you very much once more.
All right.
This is an emergency public announcement from Kano State Police Command. The banning of street protests across Kano State. In consideration of the confirmatory intelligence products at the disposal of this police command, all forms of street protests are hereby banned across all parts of the state. Members of the public should therefore note that it has come to our knowledge that both APC and the NMPP members are currently mobilizing a rented crowd in the guise of civil society coalition, and without clearance from the leadership of the Nigerian Labour Congress and without prior approval from the security agencies in the state. Both organizers, as well as the umbrella body, should note that any attempt to disrespect NLC and security agencies in the state by playing around the fragile security situation which the combined security agencies have been managing is not only uncivil but criminal and also an offense against national security.
So, Prof, welcome to Njenje Media TV, Prof.
Yeah, hello, my brother. How are you doing?
I'm all right, Prof. Now,
let's go again.
Okay. I said, I do not know if I had the video I played from Kano, where the CP of Kano State Police Command basically has said that the protest in Kano is being banned outrightly. No one should protest in Kano. Just opposing that, just opposing that video that we have seen emanating from Kano, considering what happened yesterday in Abuja and the level of brutality used against those that came out to rally on All Eyes on the Judiciary, what do you think is happening? Where do you think we are headed to?
No, I think clearly that with what is happening across our country, it's a descent to dictatorship. It's a descent to impunity. It's a descent to responsible conduct by operators of state. The Chapter 2 of the Nigerian Constitution, Chapter 4 of the Nigerian Constitution, Sections 45, 44, and 43, if you like, fundamental provisions of the Constitution that addresses the liberties to disagree with government, this liberty to protest, the liberty to have peaceful assembly. And then tragically, if you like, those who superintend over the Nigerian state, who with some sense of hypocrisy are insisting on the return to democracy in Niger, are unwilling to allow the freedom and the liberties that is congruent with democracy and democratic rights. It's a major surprise. It is worrisome. For those who support this tendency for abridgment of democratic rights, I think it's some air of hypocrisy and sycophancy. I do sincerely believe that as we criticize the happenings, as we criticize what happened, particularly in Abuja today, as well as what the Commissioner of Police in Kano said, it's more like a dictatorship in the offing. It's more like a despot bearing his or her fangs. I remember I just listened to Professor when he said, Professor Ndubaku, when he said that not even in the military, not under military rule, would we have this kind of impunity. And I say with all sense of respect, I was involved from the days of the June 12th agitation in progressively, proactively, and profoundly asking the leadership be responsible to the people. Some of us were detained under military rule, but I can't remember being beaten the way Citizen Bullos was beaten. I can't remember being harangued and harassed the way Chigozia, Oma, and others were harassed. And so I think that a desperate despot is bearing his fangs. I think that a desperate administration is unwilling to allow the freedom of protest. I think that a desperate administration is trying to overawe and threaten the Nigerian people, if you like. And so I disagree completely with this tendency. I disagree completely with this predilection to conflict and impunity. I disagree completely with the tendency of the Tinubu presidency to abridging the rights of the people to assemble, the tendency to abridging the rights of the people to protest, the tendency to abridging the rights of the people to demand that the judiciary does what is proper, right, and right. And so, along with well-meaning Nigerians and those who truly believe that the time has come for us to take our country on the path of rectitude, I repudiate and lampoon the actions of the Nigerian police, the DSS, and the military on the 20th of August, 2023. Ditto denying the people the right to protest and to ask the judiciary to do what is proper.
Now, Prof, thank you very much for that. There is this school of thought. Many have argued, in WhatsApp groups and also on Twitter street. Many have actually argued that All Eyes on Judiciary campaign is a
bullying
of the judiciary. Do you share that thought? That saying All Eyes is bullying?
No, but it's absolutely untrue. Congruent with democratic rights is the freedom to express your opinion. Congruent with democratic rights is the freedom to ask the operators of state to do what is proper, right, and right. Congruent with democratic rights is the freedom to ask for rectitude. And so Nigerians are not saying the judiciary should give judgment in favor of Peter Gregory. They are not saying that that the judiciary should give judgment against Bola Ahmed Tinubu. They're not saying that the judiciary should give judgment in favor of Atiku Abubakar. They're simply saying that the judiciary must do what is proper, right, and right. And so how does that overawe, how does that bully the judiciary? All Eyes on the Judiciary is simply saying, we're looking at you, the Presidential Electoral Petition Tribunal. we're looking at the justices, we're looking at the judges, we're looking at every operator in the temple of justice, who at this point is material to determining whether the rights of the people, whether the mandates of the people was stolen on the 25th of February 2023. And so simply saying, I got my eyes on you, how does it mean bullying you? How does it mean intimidating you? All it's simply saying is, I want you to do right. All it means is simply saying, everybody understands what is right in this context. And so we want you to do what is proper, what is right, what is tenable, what is just. The only people who feel threatened are those who do not believe in the need for this country to etch justice as a minimum on our collective canvas. The only people who are threatened and troubled are those who do not want a new republic and a new day. The only people who are troubled, who feel bullied, are those who love injustice. And let me say clearly that all eyes on the judiciary is a cliche that those who love justice believe in. It's a cliche that those who love injustice are bullied by. And so I think that clearly any well-meaning Nigerian, anybody who thinks that this country must move out of the nadir to promise, anybody who wants a new day and a new deal, anybody who wants a new dawn and who wants a new republic where justice prevails, will side with the call, will side with the emotions, will side with the prognosis, will side with the thought, will side with that hashtag, all eyes on the judiciary. We all want our judges to live, to be upright. We want them to live in tandem with that insignia of mother justice, that blind-throated woman with a scale and a sword, saying, I must do right, saying, I must dispense justice without let or hindrance, saying, I must bring the rich or the poor equally before the scale of justice, saying, I must bring the powerful and the less powerful equally before the scale of justice, saying that the universe is just and bends towards the arc of justice. That's exactly what we're saying. We're saying that the time has come for those who superintend our judiciary to do what is proper, right, and right.
Thank you, Prof. Now, since this rally was dispersed yesterday, do you envisage where more people now may be angrier and now coming out in larger number than what was expected yesterday to lend their voice to this act of barbarism, as so described?
Indeed, Nigerians are angry with the system, Nigerians dissatisfied with the happenings, Nigerians disappointed with the predilection of those who superintend over state to injustice and impunity, are determined, resolute, uncowed, and they believe that the time to take their destinies in their hands is now. Tragically, it was the words of the great Catholic president of the United States of America, that man called John F. Kennedy. Those words resonate. You remember how he said that those who make peaceful change impossible almost always make violent change inevitable. Unfortunately, we're gradually getting to that place in our historicity where Nigerians are about almost going to be forced to resort to self-help. I have followed the news across our country. I've followed the matter. As a matter of fact, Nigerians have given traction. Nigerians have trended their resentment against the events of the 20th of August 2023. Nigerians are simply saying that they are opposed to state operators abridging and denying, if you like, the people the rights and the freedom to protest. Nigerians are saying without equivocation that they must and will express and exercise those rights. Nigerians are saying determinedly and confidently that they will pursue their rights to insist on justice, and no other issue but justice will count. Nigerians are saying that they, together with the civil society, the Labour Party, the Labour movement, the progressives across bounds, across divides, and the obedient movement, that nothing but justice will do. And I believe that anybody who truly cares about our country will insist that the judiciary does what is proper, right, and right. And I repeat without equivocation that people are ready to step out of the street again and again. People are ready to insist on the judiciary doing what they must do, which is justice. People are insisting and saying without doubt that congruent with democratic rights is the transparency of the electoral process and the freedom of the people to insist on not only the electoral umpire doing what is right, but the judiciary doing what is opposite and right. And I believe that not even the site of a prison yard, nor the site of a cemetery, nor the chains of the jailer can stop the people from expressing their democratic rights.
Prof, those are profound words. Now that I still have you here, today, as you know, the APC president had his minister sworn in, and in that event today, or rather after the event, there was something that got tongues wagging, and that is this video by Wike. As a resident of Abuja, are you worried? Listening to Wike make this statement. Let me play this quickly for you.
Those who are paying for refuse collection, what are they doing? So we must also sit down to look at differently ways of waste management or waste disposal. It is very, 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 very key. Sorry,
I think, hold on. There were two videos here. One was on the cow.
Who consult with stakeholders, indigenous and residents? Who will consult? Who consult and talk to the herdsmen to see how we will stop. Because we cannot allow cows inside the city. That's the way it's supposed to be done. Because the grasses are outside the city. The grasses are not here. The grasses were planted to beautify the city. It is not that one that they will eat. The one that we eat, it was in the area council. So we'll make it, we'll discuss. It's important. I mean, that was the you are driving towards the fair. Take, for example, I see about 20-30 cows goat. How if somebody
so this is one of the obviously the videos that were trending today, and there is one I quickly will need your response to. No, sorry. This hold on.
Those who are distorting the master plan of Abuja. Too bad. Too bad. If you know you are guilty, you're not supposed to go down. It go down. Be a minister of anywhere, be an ambassador. You know you have developed where you're not supposed to develop. Your house must go what? Down.
Now, Prof, looking at a minister who was sworn in today, already saying that houses will go down. Do you think he has taken the right approach to date?
let me say clearly that there is nothing, absolutely nothing about Njenje Wike that excites me. Absolutely nothing about his temperament, about his tendency, about his avowals that appeal to me. Governance is about pragmatism. A leader must be responsible and responsive. I don't know what he's about. I don't know why the arrogance. I don't know why his predilection to conflict and troublemaking. I think that he should first of all understand the temperament, understand the anatomy, understand the geophysics and the geopolitics of Abuja before sounding like a man who's high on drugs, before sounding like a man who's high on narcotics, before sounding like a man who's high on something. And I hope these are my views, and these are my candid thoughts. Maybe someone has told him that if he sounds like that, he'll be in a right standing to be able to rig the possible rerun in favor of his new puppet master, of his new puppeteer. But let me say clearly that he's in for a root shock. Abuja is not River State. He's in for a root shock. Nigerians are tired and Nigerians have seen all about him and all of him. At some point he sounded like a man who had some air of dignity, some sense of respect. Remember, at some point he said that he will never settle for the APC because it was like moving from someone who had a malaria to electing to have cancer. And so maybe he now has a cancer of the mouth. And I want to be quoted. Maybe something has finally gone wrong with him. So he thinks that he is a czar who must talk down on those who live in Abuja. But truly, I think that he has a shock coming his way, because at the end of the day, he will eat his vomit. Abuja is not Rivers, and the Obedience and those who live in Abuja are not as rascally and as irresponsible as he sounds.
So, but what if that is already, because if you piggyback, if you go back a little bit, one could actually make the argument that he was brought in for that, to settle some scores. Maybe the one who hired him to do this hatchet job or to do this job for him, could it be that he's trying to settle some scores and the only person that can do it in that manner could be him?
Well, whatever scores they want to settle, I want to say clearly that the people are stronger than those who politic and play with power. That the power of the people indeed across historicity is stronger than the men in power. And clearly he will find what will become of him. He will meet his comeuppance. The arc of the moral universe is just and it bends towards justice. And I say clearly that Wike will meet his right recompense. Let him continue to say the things he's saying. Let him continue to threaten the innocent. Let Wike should continue to threaten the citizens and the residents of Abuja. He should continue to sound like John the Baptist without the moral preachings of John the Baptist. He should continue to sound like someone who cares for people he doesn't care for. I sure believe that the universe, the moral arc of the universe will prevail over his hypocrisy, sycophancy, and pretense.
Now, Prof, before I let you go, just in a minute here, we have the coup that happened in Niger, and ECOWAS is preparing seriously to go into that country. While ECOWAS is preparing, on the screen here are citizens being called to join the military in defense of their own motherland. Suddenly, it appears that Nigeria and ECOWAS are hell bent on moving into a neighboring country. Having you here on this platform, I would want to know what you think about what is about to happen in Niger.
No, I don't think that any logical leader within the ECOWAS region, within West Africa, within the Sahel, support armed conflict or military invasion of Niger. No sane person will do that. And that suggests that those who are saying that they must go to war have a problem. And I'm saying that very politely, that those who are insisting on armed conflict have a problem, because clearly democracy is the government of the people, for the people, and by the people. If the people of Niger are excited about the removal of Bazoum, who are you in Nigeria, where you did not win a popular election, where you have a legitimacy crisis, to insist on democracy in Niger? I think it's absolute hypocrisy, it's absolute tummy rot, absolute fallacy, absolute deceit. You have to go back to the polls and ensure that you have credibility and legitimacy before you ask Nigerians to do right. Nigerians are in support of their present military ruler, and you have seen how the people on the streets are asking to be enlisted in the army to defend their country. And then across the West African sub-region, and I say with every sense of responsibility, that the countries that are saying that, oh, they have to go to Niger and ensure that they restore Niger to democracy are predominantly those whose elections, what happened in Senegal, what happened in Côte d'Ivoire, what is happening in Sierra Leone, and the electoral malfeasance and larceny that took place in Nigeria. So these are people who are desirous to dance to the song of the West. It's about the puppet and the puppeteer. So what they want is please the West. So by going to war in Niger, so you can get some kind of credibility. But true credibility lies in the acceptance and acceptability of whoever the watchman is. Tinubu is someone who the majority of Nigerians are hesitant in calling Mr. President. It's difficult for a lot of people to call him Mr. President. For me, I see him as an impostor in Aso Rock, and that's the way it is with so many people. So you cannot truly say that you don't have the moral nexus and the moral latitude to insist on democracy in Niger. That's point number one. Point number two, our brothers and sisters from the north have said no to war in Niger, and if you decide to overrule them, that makes you unpopular. Point number three, and finally, I think that we must first of all defeat insurgency, the Boko Haram and the terrorist tendencies that are tyrannizing, traumatizing, and messing up our country before we go. Charity must begin at home. So I think that Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his fellow travelers on the path of infamy, Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his fellow travelers in a desperate legitimacy-seeking mission must realize that the time has come for leadership to be responsible and responsive, that the time has come for those who should pretend over nations in Africa, West Africa, and across the Sahel to listen to the voice of their people. Coups will not cease until leaders become responsible and responsive to the people.
Thank you very much, Prof. That's a very fine place to anchor this. If I let you go on, you are a very vivacious one. So that we could stay here for an endless time. But it's indeed a pleasure to have you here, Prof. Thank you very much for being my guest this evening. Thank you and good night.
God bless you.
So everyone, thank you very much for being part of this. You have seen it. This is a conversation that we had with three individuals regarding all Eyes on the Judiciary rally that happened yesterday and the accompanied police brutality that happened in Abuja. The victims of that brutality spoke to me today. And there, Chigozie Ifeanyi Chukwu, Professor Ndebako, who DSS had his phone stolen, and Professor Chris Walker, who joined me in the last person that I spoke to now. You also how his talk on what Wike is about to do in Abuja. Wike believes that he is going to demolish houses. And many people are asking, why would that be what you're going to say on your first day? Is that a call, or is that someone moving towards certain preconceived vendetta? We do not know. But it is something that has really, on the internet and on the social media, got people talking. On that note, I say to you, thank you very much for joining my program this evening. If you haven't subscribed to this platform, please click the subscribe button. Remember to click on the bell icon anytime we come online unscheduled, that you get the notification that we are here for you so you can join us. Do not forget to share this stream, share, and like that as well. On this note, I say, see you next time. Bye for now. I am still Mazi Ezoke. Good night.
La 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 la.